Disclaimer, the following content which you are about to watch is meant for everyone, not just children. There are people who like this stuff that are not just kids. Thank you. In the community I've put myself in, I've noticed something. Besides all the models, the figures, the detailed, non-posable dinosaur toys, or figures, whatever you want to call them, I seem to be one of the only ones that collects a certain brand of those toys. Some of them being Mattel. I'm a very, very big Jurassic Park collector, and seeing as the new ranks have came up to Mattel to make those toys, I've decided to make a video to where I give the top 10 new Mattel toys that have came out in the last decade, but essentially it's the last 2 years. I don't know, I just kind of want to make a fun video where I count down. I've wanted to do something like this for a while, but since it's the end of the year, I thought it would be a good thing to kind of give you guys a little New Year's Eve present. So here are my top 10 favorite Mattel dinosaur toys.
Number 10.
The Baryonyx. This was one of the first figures that came out, and in my opinion, one of the best. Lots of people commemorated it at the time for being the best of the best. Everyone thought that it was the best of all of the Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom toys that had came out at that point. And in my opinion, while it isn't, I do still think it is one of the better ones. It has some great details, some great paint applicants, and it looks pretty dang accurate to the one we see in the film. But there are a few downsides, mainly it being one of the roarivores, which some people are a bit iffy on. Also, the noise it made was not of that of a Baryonyx. There was one sound that can be somewhat classified as one, but most of them were just T-Rex noises and snarls. Back on the upside, though, it did give us a kick-ass repaint that was only slightly less cool than the original. However, I have to put it at number 10 because it's a roarivore, but it does have a really, really, really good appearance.
Number 9.
The Legacy Collection Brachiosaurus. This figure was a really, really widely liked one above the community. Lots and lots of people were wanting this guy, and there are so many who are hyping it up to be the best of them all. They were saying, this is going to be the best Mattel toy. This is going to be the best of the Mattel Jurassic World line. And when it came to delivery, I personally didn't see it as one of the best. While yes, it is huge, and yes, it is a really, really good representation of that infamous Brachiosaurus, other than that, it really has nothing going for it. There isn't a whole ton of things that you can do with this figure besides moving around. And of course, you can have there, like, having its size. And even to some people, that can be considered a negative, seeing as how it takes up a lot of shelf space. But what it does give us does indeed deliver. It's massive. It is the most accurate Brachiosaurus in the official Jurassic Park merchandise ever. This is the best Brachiosaurus we've gotten from the Jurassic franchise. But it just really doesn't have anything else going for it, so that's why I have to put it at number 9.
Number 8.
The Mononychus from the Dino Rivals. This is one of the more underrated figures in my opinion. It's a really, really, really nice figure. With its small size, it packs a lot of detail, some really, really good articulation, and it overall just looks really, really dang cute. It's a cute little figure. And in my opinion, it's one of the ones that gets looked over a lot. To those who I have seen review it, they've given it a positive score. They all say it's good, but it just seems to be one that doesn't get a lot of attention from a lot of people. It's most likely because of its attack pack status. It's one of those smaller figures, so it's quite easy to look over. And the color scheme is not that attractive, but it does have an incredible sculpt. It has very, really good detail, and for the figure, it also has some really, really good articulation. It's also a very, very unique species. We don't get a lot of Mononychus figures in even the model world nowadays. Despite my love for the figure, like I said, the color scheme is a bit unattractive, and there's a few things when it comes to detail that are slightly looked over, like the paint, it could have been done a little bit better, and as great as the articulation is, there could have been a few slight tweaks to make it a tad bit better. And that is why I put the Mononychus from the Dino Rivals at number 8.
Number 7.
The Amargasaurus from Dino Rivals. Some might find this a surprise, but I'm just going to keep it very, very short. Whatever the Legacy Collection Brachiosaurus fails at, the Amargasaurus succeeds. There's nothing more that needs to be said.
Number 6.
The Battle Damage Pachycephalosaurus. Not a lot of people probably saw this coming, much like the Mononychus, but in my opinion, this figure is amazing. It has battle damage, so that's already a plus, and it's also one of the best Pachycephalosaurus figures ever. It has some really, really nice articulation. It's much like the Sticky Moloch with that, but of course, being a Pachycephalosaurus, it's better. The color scheme is the only set-off for me, and that's why I'm putting it at number 6.
Number 5.
The Battle Damage Albertosaurus. This was a welcome surprise from Mattel, and I'm very, very glad they made it. We haven't had an Albertosaurus put to figure form in a very, very long time, so that's a really, really good reason why we have this figure. Also, in my opinion, it is the best Albertosaurus ever put to figure form. It's the most accurate, it has the most detail by far, and it also just looks the best. The color scheme looks a bit weird, but damn, does that new one look really, really good with those Halloween colors. Anyway, the colors put it at number 5.
Number 4.
The Parasaurolophus from Dino Rivals. This guy has been hyped up to be one of the best of the Dino Rivals, and I agree with that statement. It is. It is surely one of the best Dino Rivals. In fact, it is possibly my favorite herbivore from the entire Jurassic World line that Mattel has given us. It looks fantastic. It's only one of 2 Parasaurolophus figures that is full-sized. That makes it really, really good. And also, it actually just looks really, really nice. The colors are pretty accurate. The size is really, really, really good. It's just a really, really nice figure. It still holds up to this day to be the best Parasaurolophus figure put to figure form, and as well the best Parasaurolophus that has been featured in the Jurassic lineup.
Number 3.
The Amber Collection Velociraptor. It has a rubber tail. There's no more that needs to be said.
Number 2.
This one's a tie between the posable Indoraptor and the Indominus Rex from Dino Rivals. The posable Indoraptor is on here for a number of reasons, but the main ones are I have a slight bias against it, as well as the fact it is by far the best Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom toy they produced. Within this line, this is definitely the best. It has an incredibly amazing action feature, to which it actually has none. The action feature is it can move, which is both really stupid and really ingenious. It's such a ridiculous concept that when you actually do it, it's both so original and it performs, in this case at least, so well that it's just freaking amazing. The action feature is literally, it can move. I can't stress enough how really cool that is. Also, my mother, we were talking in my room, and she pointed out that she actually thought this was the best of the Mattel toys I had in the room. She thought that was the best. So, thank you, Mom. Thank you for myself for actually loving this figure. And thank you to Mattel for making the best action feature on a figure I've ever seen. The I-Rex is simply on here because it has the coolest action feature of any Jurassic toy I've ever seen. It can literally grab a figure, pick it up, and eat it. It's just ridiculously cool. With the ridiculously cool action features, both of these just get a number 2 for me. They're ridiculously awesome.
Number 1.
the Nasutoceratops from Dino Rivals. This might seem as another surprise to some people, but in my opinion, this is by far the most underrated of all of the Jurassic toys Mattel has given us. It just simply looks too freaking gorgeous. It has everything that I want in a toy. It has some pretty decent articulation. It has really, really good detail. Its colors are phenomenal. And not only that, overall, it just looks fantastic. Taking from a movie design that was already really, really cool, this toy is just absolutely, I can't even put it into words how amazing it is. Finally, before we go, I want to give a few honorable mentions to figures that just didn't make the cut. The Roarivore Ankylosaurus, the Jurassic World Carnotaurus, the Primal Attack Cryolophosaurus, and finally the Legacy Spinosaurus. And with that, guys, thank you for watching and have a great new year.